Here's your wrestling news for August 30th, 2022, and we're starting off today with Monday Night Raw, as new Women's Tag Team Champions have been crowned. After 101 days, the longest any WWE tag titles have been vacated, this week's show saw Dakota Kai and Io Sky face Aliyah and Raquel Rodriguez to crown the new champions. The babyfaces won the match and the titles after the trio of Asuka, Alexa Bliss, and WWE Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair ran off Bayley, who had been at ringside to help Kai and Sky. This was a big win on the main roster for both ladies who have been appearing prominently in WWE programming lately, and was also a win of sorts for Kai and Sky as well. Sure, they didn't win the titles, but they also did not seem weak in their defeat, and we imagine that they'll have another shot at the titles in due time. Until then, the titles belong to Aliyah and Rodriguez, the latter becoming the first ever WWE and NXT Women's Tag Team Champion, and we'll have to see who steps up to the new champions first. Raw also saw an appearance by the Judgment Day, and we have to admit that the group may be better without Edge in charge. That's not to say Edge is a bad performer, he's still one of the best ever, but the group's portrayal of him in June is starting to make a lot more sense. At the time, fans thought it was odd that the group kicked out their leader only about 2 months into the faction, but the storyline is working much better with Edge as the conquering hero. We all know that Edge can be a dastardly villain, but after his miraculous return from retirement, it's difficult for any fans to boo the rated R superstar. Instead of being in yet another heel faction, something we've seen Edge do before, now the WWE Hall of Famer is trying to take down the group. It was just a few weeks ago that the Judgment Day seemed dead in the water, with some fans calling them another retribution, but with the story improving each week, WWE has turned things around. This weekend, Roman Reigns will defend the undisputed WWE Universal Championship against Drew McIntyre at Clash of the Castle. The list of Reigns' victims since turning heel 2 years ago reads as a who's who of WWE, including Brock Lesnar, John Cena, and Edge, but this weekend could be very different. According to WrestleVotes, there have been serious talks for the first time in a very long time about having Reigns lose his title in what would be a blockbuster moment. The report says that multiple ideas have intrigued those who will ultimately make the decision, including Reigns losing the title to Drew. McIntyre, who carried WWE for a year throughout the pandemic era, has yet to have his big world title win in front of a live crowd, as both of his 2 WWE Championship wins came at a time when fans couldn't attend. Today marks day 730 since Roman Reigns won the Universal title at Payback in 2020, and while this Friday's SmackDown will be a celebration of his 2-year run, time may have finally run out for the Tribal Chief. Over this past week, Patrick Clark has been making an effort to return to WWE, where he once competed as Velveteen Dream. It was in 2020 that Dream was accused of sending explicit content to minors, and while WWE's investigation turned up no evidence, he was released in May 2021. On Instagram, Clark has the hashtag #BringBackVelveteenDream, but his incredibly small chances of a return just got even smaller. According to police records, Clark was arrested on August 20th in Orlando, Florida on battery and trespassing charges. A hearing had been scheduled for next month, but was canceled, and Clark has pled not guilty to the charges and was able to post bail of $1,200. Not only that, but Clark was also arrested on August 26th, this time for an out-of-state warrant on drug possession, and remains in custody at this time. At one point, Clark was one of WWE's most promising superstars, with many talking about a main roster call-up, but that was a long time ago, and it looks somehow even more unlikely that we'll never see him back in a WWE ring. We've got some fantastic news from Nikki Bella now, as the longest-reigning WWE Divas Champion has at long last gotten married. Fans of Total Bellas would know that Nikki wanted to marry John Cena, who was incredibly reluctant to tie the knot, but now Nikki has married her longtime partner Artem Chigvintsev. The pair first met in 2017 with Nikki's appearance on Dancing with the Stars, and the pair would get engaged in 2019. After an engagement that lasted throughout the pandemic, the pair were set to wed around Thanksgiving 2021, but a battle with postpartum depression led to their ceremony being postponed. Bella announced their marriage on Instagram, as well as a 4-part series coming to E! Titled Nikki Bella Says I Do. And we'd like to offer our congratulations to the brand new Mr. and Mrs. Chigvintsev. More from Raw now, as much of this week's show was centered around Riddle and Seth Rollins, with the two set to do battle at this weekend's Clash at the Castle. It was in October 2020 that Riddle's name was shortened to just Riddle, but those days are a thing of the past. On this week's show, Riddle was once again referred to as Matt Riddle, the name he used during his successful run in NXT and before making it to WWE. Though WWE gave no explanation at the time, the reason for the name shortening was that Riddle had been accused of sexual assault, and WWE believed that while searching for Matt Riddle would lead fans to the accusations, just searching for Riddle would make it less likely that those specific claims would come up. Riddle's name could be the first of many to be changed, as Theory was recently promoted at a WWE live event as Austin Theory, and there's been talks of changing Doudrop's name to Piper Niven. With Vince McMahon gone, everything has been changing in WWE, and we'll have to see who joins Matt Riddle in getting their original name back. In May, Sasha Banks and Naomi walked out of WWE over a creative dispute with the plans for both women. Believing that entering singles feuds that they'd lose to the Raw and SmackDown Women's Champions would hurt both of them and the women's tag team titles they held at the time, the pair walked out and haven't been on WWE TV since. At one time, it looked like the pair were done with WWE for good, but now, not only are the pair likely to return, but it could be very soon. On Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer noted how Banks and Naomi are expected back on WWE TV any week now, but stopped short of giving a specific date. Ryan Alvarez had a bigger update, revealing that Banks and Naomi have been re-added to the company's internal roster, a huge sign they'll soon be on TV, and have fixed the issues that led to their walkout. It's been reported that Banks and Naomi's real issues were with Vince McMahon, who was running creative at the time of their walkout, but with the ex-chairman gone and both women having a good relationship with Triple H, expect the former champions back on TV soon. Speaking of tag champions, the USOS captured the SmackDown Tag Team titles back at Money in the Bank 2021, defeating the Mysterios, and have held on to the gold ever since. Earlier this year, the pair unified their titles with the Raw Tag Team titles with a win over RK Bro, and now another milestone has been reached. As of today, the Usos have been tag champions for 400 days, the third team ever in WWE to reach this impressive number. The other two teams are Demolition and The New Day, and with no likely challengers in sight, it may be a long time yet before we see anyone take the titles from the Bloodline. And we're ending today with Terry Funk, as it was last year that it was reported that the wrestling legend was living with dementia. It was also reported that the Funker was residing in an assisted living facility, though Ric Flair said last December that Terry is back at home. This week, a photo emerged of Funk at a bar in Amarillo, Texas, and it's great to see the legend looking so well. Despite the physical and mental setbacks he's facing, Funk's big smile was great to see, and we are wishing him the best after this rare public appearance. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.